3 Lives 3 Worlds, 10 Miles of Peach Blossoms. By Tangqi Gongzi. Translated by Hamster 428. Chapter 12. When I got to the entrance of Fox Cave, I tease Migu the moment I see him. You must have been happy without me ordering you around for so long. Migu only grins. But then he asks in a surprised tone, weren't you here yesterday to take care of some business? Why are you speaking like you've just come back from the mortal realm? I'm also surprised. I was still in the mortal realm yesterday. I've only been back since now. Migu's face starts to blanch white. Then the person who came back yesterday, I tremble. There is only one person who can deceive Migu and disguise herself as me. I close my eyes. Xiannu. Great. Just great. I haven't given you trouble for the past 70,000 years, but how dare you come to my home now? I take a deep breath and say, it's definitely Xiannu who came by yesterday. Migu stares at me and bites his lips till they are white. I find his appearance odd, so I ask, what else did she do? Migu trembles and says, yesterday she told me she found a way to preserve Master Moiwan's corpse. She told me to bring him to her. I thought she was you, so I went to Yanhua Cave and carried his body out. Then later, His Young Highness mistook her for you when he woke up from his nap. She took him away too. My head starts to spin. I grab his shirt and say, you said she took my teacher and A Li. Somewhere within the air comes a loud thunder roar. Dark clouds start rolling in and a flash of lightning cuts across the sky. The hidden Yuking Kunlun fan emerges from the lake after 500 years of disuse. Its 7-meter length appears before my fiery eyes. I smirk. I'm afraid you'll have to taste the bloody power of this fan today. Migu calls to me from behind, lady. I turn back to him and say, I'll only dash over there right quick and bring back my teacher and the little doe. You don't have to be scared witless like that. Boil some water for me. I'll want to take a bath when I come back. I then cover my eyes with the white ribbon and summon a cloud. I head straight to Dasiming Palace. Xiannu sits comfortably on the throne. Attending to her are demon generals on 2 sides. She smilingly says, Qian, I haven't heard of your news in 70,000 years. The other day His Majesty told me Xian Chenjun is actually a female. I immediately thought of you. I was surprised myself when I met Xian Chenjun on Kunlun. There shouldn't be anyone else who looks like me beside you. I smirk and say, my queen is good-humored. This isn't your true look, now is it? My memory is still in great working condition. I still remember clearly your original form, but why have you forgotten it yourself? Master Jian from Shi Li Tao Hua is free these days. If you forgot, I can always bother myself and invite him here to help you remember. Her face changes from pink to white, then from white to blue. It looks quite becoming. Then she laughs and says, say what you want, I'll be killing you today. Then there won't be anyone who has my face in this world. Ever since I took Moiwan's body and your son away, I knew you would come here looking for me. I knew without the soul pearl, you'd still be able to preserve Moiwan's body. Like I thought, you didn't disappoint me. I'm sorry I haven't found him sooner. How happy I am to know my son will occupy such a good body. Qian, since you've done well, I'll tell them to give you an easy death." As she finishes her words, her throne retreats back and the demons come forward. I coldly smirk, "With your talents." I use my fan and start to take them down. From noon to dusk, I manage to get rid all but 2 or 3 demons. I was stabbed once on my back, but the most worrisome thing is that my silk ribbon has been knocked off. Xian Nu suddenly raises a shiny pearl, making my eyes twinge in pain. When I jerk around, a sword has stabbed my chest. I fan the sword back toward the demon and before he can react, his head has already fallen. Xian Nu raises the pearl high and stammers, Don't come over here. I'll destroy Moi Wan and your son if you do." Behind her appears 2 coffins. The large one contains Moi Wan, the smaller one contains the little doe. I pause and try to support my Führer. "What did you do to A Li?" Although she is still trembling, she has regained much of her calm. She leans on the coffin and says, "He's in a deep sleep now. But if you come over, it'll be hard for me to keep it that way." I stare at her, my eyes twitching. "Remove the blade from your chest and give me your fan." I use the fan to support myself as I walk to her, not caring to reply. I said, "Don't come over here. I'll stab your son if you do." Smirking, I say, "I didn't think about returning when I came here, so go ahead. Kill him, and I'll kill you to avenge his death." I waited for Moi Wan for 70,000 years, but he still doesn't come back. What's the meaning of living anymore? If I wasn't worried about leaving A Li behind, I would have soon followed Moi Wan already. Birth and death are something none of us can avoid. She starts to blurt maddeningly, "You've gone mad. You've gone mad." I wipe away the blood on my eyes and feel that I'm indeed a little crazy. But I'm still not totally insane. She insulted my teacher and hurt my closed ones. How am I supposed to swallow this offense? I let her go on her incessant talks as I pool enough energy into the Kunlun fan. Before she has enough time to react, a bright beam tears through the air from my hand. Someone suddenly blazes by Xian Nu and casts the beam back to me. Horrified, Xian Nu grabs onto that person's sleeve and shakily calls out, "Your Majesty." The fast-flying Kunlun fan came back to me at an even quicker speed. I have no ability to block it, so I close my eyes and await my impending death. To my surprise, just as I blink, someone has pulled me to the side in a split of a second. I turn to see that the one who's holding me is Yehua. "Yehua, Yehua, you should have come sooner so I wouldn't be this beaten up." Yehua's face is green with fear. His cold eyes have angry flames. His body is stiff. He touches my bloody cheeks and says, Qian, who injured you?" I tremble as I speak. The ones who hurt me have all been killed. I was about to slay the last one, but her husband appeared out of nowhere and stopped me. "Loosen your hold a little, I'm hurting everywhere." Li Jing, who is holding Xian Nu across from us, now lifts his head up and calls out in shock, "A Yin." Xian Nu trembles in Li Jing's arms. Her eyes stay fixed on us as she says with confusion and fear, "Master Moi Wan." She probably mistakes Yehua for Moi Wan. I reluctantly reply, "Li Jing, I didn't think we'd meet again so soon. That was some skill you have there. I almost lost my life to that one move of yours." He pushes Xian Nu aside and quickly comes before me. but Yehua's energy strike stops him from coming further. I have to give it to him for being able to recognize me in this bloody state. Li Jing's expression is even graver than my own. It's been drained of all color. He says with fear, Yin, Your Highness the Crown Prince, what has happened? Yehua lowers his voice, Demon King, I also want to ask what exactly is going on in this Dasiming palace of yours. I tilt my head to look at Yehua. You asked the wrong person. It was Queen Xiannu who kidnapped my teacher and your son. You should ask his queen. Ah, the little doe is currently fine though. You don't have to worry too much. Yehua gently says, he's also your son. Stepson is also son I guess, so I reluctantly say, yes, he's also my son. Li Jing asks surprisingly, son? I nod my head. His eyes become dark as he utters, you. After a long time he still can't say anything. He looks to Xiannu. Yehua also looks to Xiannu. I follow them and turn to look at her as well. When she sees Li Jing looking at her eyes overcome with madness. Your Majesty, our son can finally come back. Look, I've found him an excellent body. If I had known sooner that Moiwan's body will be useful for our son, you should have given Bai Qian the soul pearl when she showed up to Dasiming Palace to borrow it. Ah, but how unbelievable! She could still keep Moiwan's body so well without the pearl. Your Majesty, you were jealous of Moiwan back then but you can't anymore. He'll be our son from now on. Li Jing shouts loudly, shut up. Xiannu doesn't seem to understand and continues, Your Majesty, did I say anything wrong? You didn't want to give the soul pearl to Bai Qian because you were jealous of Moiwan. But he's going to be our son now. Ah, you still don't know who Bai Qian is. Bai Qian of King Kaiyu is actually Xian Chenjun from the past. Yehua's arms tremble slightly. I leave his embrace and support myself with the Kunlun fan. Xiannu, try insulting my teacher one more time. My teacher's precious body was kept alive with my blood for over 70,000 years. Your son doesn't have that honor. Li Jing turns around. With his bloodshot eyes, he comes before me. Your blood, did you just say? I step back and scream, did you not know? That your soul pearl wasn't the only way to save my teacher? You heard what Xiannu said. Bai Qian of King Kaiyu is actually a nine-tailed white fox. You can ask your queen what the blood of a nine-tailed white fox can be used for. I point to my chest where it got stabbed by the demon and woefully laugh. My teacher's body was so injured that I had to use a bowl of blood for 3 whole months. I was also gravely injured, so I knew I wouldn't last all 3 months if I draw my blood out each day like that. Thus I thought of our old friendship and put on a thick face to borrow your soul pearl. And what did you say to me then, Li Jing? His voice becomes hoarse. Yin, I didn't know you were injured. Yin, I didn't know, Yin. I wipe the falling tears on my eyes and point to Moiwan's coffin. Do you know why I had to painfully take a bowl of blood from my heart each night for 3 whole months? If anyone still calls me a good god, it's because of my filial action towards my teacher. He was always protecting me during those 2,000 years. If I didn't repay him, it would be a waste to call me a god. I actually didn't have enough strength myself. Only. After 7 days I was already unconscious. If my mother hadn't found me and given me half of her life, Xian Chenjun would really be gone as history recorded. I don't want to make enemies out of you because the heaven and demon kingdoms have only recently achieved a hard-fought truce. Do you think I'm afraid of you? Li Jing's expression becomes woeful. I cough a couple of times and Yehua quickly drapes me with his coat. I was busy recounting the past with Li Jing, so I didn't notice that Yehua has saved Moi Wan and the little doe from the coffins. They are now floating inside an energy barrier. Looking at the two of them side by side, he and Moi Wan really do look alike, from their hair to their clothes. Beside Moi Wan's paler face, everything about them is the same. Li Jing still stands there quietly looking at me. After a long while, he finally says, Yin, it's not that like. After you left I spent so long looking for you. I've never stopped looking for you these past 70,000 years. Yin, Xian Nu is right. I didn't give you the soul pearl because I knew you'd use it to save your teacher. I was jealous of him. Yin, truthfully I've never forgotten my love for you. His words never forgotten catch me in surprise. Li Jing, it's not that you haven't forgotten your love for me. It's that you're someone who chases after things you don't have or have forever lost. Once you attain it, you won't cherish it anymore. His eyes well up with water. After a long while, he wipes his tears and says, You're only saying this to unload your own guilt. You've never loved me, am I right? That's why you could let go so easily when I was with Xian Nu. You were already tired of me, am I right? The boiling blood I tried hard to suppress comes rushing back up. I grit my teeth. So you wanted both of us to marry you? Then what about me? You keep saying you felt the need to protect Xian Nu because she was a girl. But even though I was male, I was also hurt by the two of you. I was drowned in nightmares each night. Where were you then? What were you and Xian Nu doing? The color on Li Jing's face drains away. I lean on Yehua with heavy breathing. Yehua coldly smiles, let's not hurry on old matters. Should we separate today's deeds as personal or add them up all together as official matters? Xian Nu trembles before Li Jing can answer, personal or official. Yehua lowers his voice, if we resolve this as a personal matter, please have your queen skinned and cut off her tendons. Throw her down to reincarnate as an animal, never to come back as a human so I can relieve my anger. If we resolve this as a public matter, I'll let our armies test out their skills for once. It's been too many years since we've used the things we learn in training. Xian Nu cries and holds onto Li Jing's leg. She faces up to him and says, Your Majesty, save me. Li Jing looks at her and says, How ignorant you are. Xian Nu recounts, So you really want to cut off my tendons and skin me? Did you forget? Did you forget the things I did for you? Without me, how could you so easily sit on the Demon King's throne? But now you want to, then she pleads, Your Majesty, he's only the crown prince. The Heaven Kingdom won't agree with his decision to declare war for a woman. Yehua shifts position and holds me, I'm not declaring war for a woman. Master Moi Wan is a highly revered god from our race. Divine Bai Qian is our future queen. A Li is my future heir. Yet your people have insulted the three of them greatly. Do you think heaven's warriors will stand by and take this insult? Li Jing ignores Xian Nu, who is holding onto his leg. He tiredly says, Xian Nu hasn't ever been clear-minded. She wouldn't have committed such a grave crime otherwise. Your Highness, please let her live. Yehua softly says, Qian, tell me. Do you want to let her live? I was in so much pain I couldn't talk. I only shake my head a few times. Xian Nu laughs. Lord Yehua, you treat Bai Qian so well. But did you know she had a relationship with her teacher? I become so angered I want to give her a few slaps. But Yehua already shoots a beam toward her direction. Without Li Jing's protection, she's pushed 10 meters back and hit the feet of the throne, coughing out blood. Yehua says, I hadn't wanted to injure a woman. Qian says your face resembles hers. But I can't see a resemblance anywhere. I push Yehua aside and drag myself before Xian Nu. I closely watch her bloody face, which looks exactly like mine, and smirk, this inconsequential thing. I gave it to you without much thought. But I'm not too pleased right now to see such an appearance on that face of yours. Frightened, she backs away and says, What nonsense are you saying? I've always been this way. You can't touch my face. I'm not afraid even if you invite Jian to come. Surprised, I laugh as I draw up the spell with my right hand. There's no need to invite Jian. I was only joking with you. You think only one person in this whole world knows this face-changing spell? I know I'm not very talented, but I've learned a bit during 70,000 years. I want to skin you, but I can't do that when you're still wearing my face. At the end of my speech, I use all my force to push the spell from my hand. A white glow flashes off. Xian Nu looks at me dazedly. I bent down and pat her face. I gave her a mirror taken from my sleeve and tell her with a friendly voice, Take a look. This face of yours is pretty nice too, don't you think? This is your true face, remember it carefully. Standing nearby, Li Jing mumbles, Why is it like this? Why is it like this? Xian Nu suddenly screams. As I turn around, I see her digging her own two eyes out, crying madly, No, 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 I wasn't born this way. I've never been born with these looks. Her bloody face is actually frightening. Li Jing still stands there in horror. I shake my head and sigh, how ignorant. Your ability to accept the truth is also awful. I turn and say to Yehua, in my opinion she didn't look that bad originally. Blood spills from the corner of my mouth. Yehua holds me with sorrowful eyes and tells Li Jing, Demon King, do what you need to do. Then he whispers in my ears, Qian, are you okay? I think about it and shake my head. Before my eyes is a vast whiteness as I fall into unconsciousness. End of chapter 12.